Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, the show that helps you sort through all of the trends, new and old, of the fitness world. We'll talk about yoga, running, Zumba, weightlifting, and everything in between. Whether you've got your fitness routine down to a science or you're just starting out and looking for direction, you'll find educational and entertaining information on the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Barbar. Happy New Year, everyone. And good for you. Let's start this year off right with a new fitness podcast, a new mindset, new determination, and new knowledge for you guys and for me too. This is going to be a good year. Let's do this year right. Let's be healthy. It's going to be a great entire decade. What's the number one thing that happens around the new year? People start their resolutions, right? They start getting those in. They're determined, they're ready, they've partied, and now they're ready to start their goals. And one of the most common goals is to get in shape, to get that new workout routine in, to start that diet, to be consistent, to actually do it this time. Oh man. Whether you want to try a different type of workout, whether it's high intensity, whether you want to go to the gym, whether you want to get that beach body, or whether you want to fit into those jeans you wore in college or high school or whenever. It can be done. And New Year's, not a bad time to start. However, I personally am not a big fan of resolutions. And here's why. So, resolutions can be good for some people. It's a good booster, a good starter, because everyone's starting all these great things together, which is awesome. It can be encouraging and wonderful. But then comes the pressure of everyone just bogging everything down on you, and they're trying to be encouraging, but I mean, you set this really high goal and you have to do it for an entire year. Are you kidding me? But you know, they say it takes 30 days to make a habit, right? So it can't really be that stressful. I mean, 30 days is enough to push and then it'll just be easy sailing, right? But then do you even make it through that month? And if you make it through that month, it was super, super stressful. And then second month comes along and you know, you're wavering a bit. Maybe you don't really go through with your resolution for a couple days, and third month comes around and, yeah, by then, maybe you've stopped about halfway, if not completely. Resolutions actually stop quicker than I expected. And, yeah, it just makes you feel bad about yourself. But that's not the only reason I don't like resolutions. I have actually very rarely even made a resolution for myself, even fitness-wise. Because, well, when I have a goal, I just make it in that moment. I say, okay, I'm going to do that right now. Or, if I can't for whatever reason, I'm going to do it when I finish this semester of college or whatever it is. That's when I'm going to start this month. And then I make a plan and I start. Is it always successful? No, but I feel like it's more successful than a New Year's resolution because there's less pressure of having that I have to do this consistently for an entire year or I'm a failure and I didn't complete my New Year's resolution. So besides other things you need to get done that year or goals you have that you want to complete, that puts a lot of stress on your fitness. And not just your fitness goal, I mean your actual body fitness. Stress affects the body as much as it affects the mind. So you need to be stress-free, y'all. If you even want to set a fitness goal, a fitness resolution, which I still recommend you do if that's what you want to do. I think that's admirable and awesome that you want to be healthy or fit or whatever it is. You gotta be a little careful about how you do it. So my advice is don't stress. If you have a great resolution that you're excited about, by all means do it. Start it. Get that workout plan ready for the new year. Write down exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, however you feel organized. Download that app. Organize it within the app. Talk to a fitness coach. Get that gym membership right now. Get a little head start. Just get that head start in right now if you want. That'll make it easier, I think, to move forward with everything. But if you're freaking out, why not wait a little bit? Just give it some time. Everyone's starting. Let everyone else start first. Okay? Give them the head start. That's okay. You can still have some great progress, if not a completely bangin' beach bod by the summer, even if you wait. I promise. Take your time. Just wait. Let that hype finish. Get over that hangover. And then start. Start with your step 1. What's your step 1? And start that. And another great reason to wait is during that time, you can talk to everyone about what they're doing and their progress throughout that week, and you can get your own ideas for what to do. Maybe you don't have a routine, you'll get ideas for a new routine, or maybe your routine is tired and not as beneficial as it used to be, or not getting you quite where you want to be. So this is a good time to let everyone else explore for you while you save your mental health and therefore also your physical health. Stress is gone, and you might have a better chance of following through with that resolution. When everyone else starts to die down with it, you'll keep going. Or maybe you'll pick up even more because you're encouraged that you've made it so far. It's also a good motivator, seeing how far you've come and that you're able to do it for so long. Personally, this year, I don't have a fitness New Year's resolution at all. I simply have my regular goals that I've wanted since I started more regularly working out. And some of those are being realized. And we can talk a little bit more about that after a quick break. I'll be right back, y'all.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast, dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. This is Alexandra, and in the last segment, we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions and the stress that can come with that very common fitness resolution, and how a lot of people kind of, trickle off with it. It can be a lot of pressure. So, how do you plan a workout to fit you? How do you plan it so that you make a goal that's actually reachable and reasonable for you, so there's not so much pressure and you don't tire yourself out too soon? Well, you're not Kim Kardashian, and you don't need to pretend to be. Okay, she works out 5-6 days a week, and she does a lot. She has a trainer, and she does weight training, and she does high intensity cardio. 5 to 6 days a week. That's a lot, y'all. And it's not like she's doing those daily 7-minute workout things. No, she spends time in the gym. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how long, but I'm going to guess at the very least a full hour, if not more than that. Training is tough, okay? Super regular, daily, intense, long training, especially if you're not used to that strict regimen, is a lot, and you're gonna burn out. You cannot do that to yourself. You need to have a little control. It's okay to have ambitions, but don't over plan, okay? If you have a history of being able to handle it, okay, shoot for the stars, buddy. I'm all for it. But everyone else, okay, keep shooting for the stars, but break up your steps a little bit more to get there. You can do it. I do believe in you, but you got to break it down. You got to make it easier on you. So, what are your goals? What are your realistic goals that you want to reach? Well, let's start simple. Let's start with those 7-minute workouts. Those are great. Those 7-minute daily workouts. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I've looked into those and I've tried a few of them before. I can't work out for only 7 minutes. I don't like to do that regularly. However, if you don't have time, or you feel like it's difficult for you and daunting to make the time for a 30-minute hour workout, try the 7-minute ones. They are intense, so play around with different ones that you find, because they're still effective because of how intense they are. But they're great for starting out. They get you in the mode of working out, and they make it a habit and something that you think about, but it's not necessarily stressful, It's that little thing. Maybe wake up 10 minutes earlier in the morning. Just 10 minutes earlier. Get that little short workout in. You're good to go. You can shower and start your day. If you want to wait till evening, it's fine for that too. Get that 7-minute workout in. Take your shower, go to bed. Whatever time of day you need to get it done, you can get it done. Just be realistic. So if 7 minutes daily doesn't work for you, you can do it 3 days a week. Whatever works for your schedule. Just get it done. Get it in there. Get it in your schedule. Now, if you want to get into the habit right away of something longer, you're determined for that, okay, just don't make it every day. Unless, again, you think you can do it, you have a history of being able to do things like that, and it doesn't sound daunting. You're not scared of it, you're more encouraged. Go for it. Otherwise, half an hour to an hour, few days a week. Even 2 days a week if you want. Because the idea is, even if you start small, you're not going to leave it there, right? When you work out, you got to intensify things as you go. Even for people that have been working out for years, they intensify things, they change up their routine, they do different things so they still feel the improvements and the consistency of their health stays the same and improves as well. Like it doesn't go down at all. That's what you want. So start simple. Because even if you start simple, you're making progress and also making the harder things later easier without the burnout. If you start 2 days a week, great. Do that for 2 weeks. Then do it 3 days a week. Do that for another 2 weeks. Then 4 days a week. Do that for 3 weeks. If you want to add a 5th and 6th day, keep going. You know, you got to start small. If you want to make that even longer of a process, do that too. I'm all for taking your time. Like, you're still going to see progress. It's not harmful. It's just harmful to do too much and tire yourself out, and then suddenly you're not working out at all. That's what I'm trying to prevent for you guys. And if you don't know where to start, I highly recommend taking a class first. Personally, I hate working out. I really, really do. But what I enjoy is learning things. I started taking a dance class a couple years ago, and I've wanted to do it for a long time, but wasn't ever able to because of lots of different reasons. But I was finally able to, and I fell in love. And I was at the healthiest I had ever been in my entire life. And not only that, I started bike riding, long distances too. I'd also learned how to ride a bike that year, and I got really into it. So I started biking a few times a week, not super consistent, but I still did it often enough because I really enjoyed it. And I went to dance classes really often. It started out 4 times a week, which I know that sounds like a lot, but I was really passionate about dance, and I still am really passionate about dance. So that helped because it's something I knew I would enjoy. And then I got so intensely into it, I went 5 times a week. Occasionally, if I was busy or felt burnt out, I would go 3 times a week, or, occasionally it happens. Sometimes you get sick. I just didn't go for a week, or there's a holiday, that happened. You get a little break. That's fine. That happens. Don't let that stress you out, but try something new. See something that you're interested in learning and check it out. That can be super helpful in motivating you to work out because you're still exercising your body in some way. And you can add in that extra strength training or cardio later if you want to. But if you're seeing the goals, if you're reaching the goals that you want without that, then you're good to go. You're learning a skill and getting the health that you need. I'm all for that. All right, we're going to take another short little break, and we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Earlier, we discussed how to start your fitness resolution the right way without feeling overwhelmed and without just giving up, because it can be stressful. It's a lot of pressure, guys. I totally get it. And sometimes we just can't complete a New Year's resolution. Okay, a little more than sometimes. That happens to most people. Let's be real here, guys. Let's be real. It's okay. New Year's causes a lot of pressure on people, which is fine. Just got to know how to handle it. So, besides the active portion of the resolution, people are going to have other kinds of resolutions. Food-wise, a big one that I've seen, well, we've always seen from the beginning of everything, is cutting down on sugar, if not removing it completely. That's really common to do, whether someone is training for something specific or they just feel the need to do it just to be healthier. Totally normal. Totally fine. But sugar cravings, those are super common, even for people that like sugar, actually, especially for people that like sugar. But no matter what your fitness level is, what kind of food you eat, sugar cravings happen. Whether you have a sweet tooth or not, they're not a bad thing. Cravings in general, not a bad thing. I promise. They will not destroy you. You don't have to struggle to ignore them. Actually, you shouldn't ignore them. That is the opposite of what you need to do. When you crave something, that's your body giving you a signal. That's your body telling you, hey, you need something. So here's this feeling we're giving you so you can try to find whatever it is that your body needs. And when you crave sugar, it could be a number of things. It could be your body could want carbs. Your body could want fruit. Or you simply could be thirsty, because honestly, any kind of hunger could be an indication of thirst. A lot of people carry around giant bottles of water all day long to stay hydrated, which is awesome because, you know, our body needs the water, but it also affects our craving and what we eat. So make sure you stay hydrated because your body needs it, and it'll also prevent you from overeating the sugar because, you know, that happens. What can you even eat if you're having sugar cravings, and what should you eat? Well, like I said, I mean, it could be an indicator of multiple things. You got to learn your body, see what it needs. But it helps if you make sure you have enough carbs during the day. That definitely helps. People are always very upset about carbs, which I understand. However, they are important and we still need them. So make sure you get the right carb intake. And along with that, make sure you eat enough fruits. If you're craving something sweet, eat some fruit. Or if you're not in the mood for fruit, have some nuts. That definitely helps with that sweet craving. Along with that, drink some water. Just find some combination, some kind of snack to keep you busy. It will help you get that sugar intake that you need without the chocolate, the lollipops, the cakes, the muffins. No white sugar. But don't be discouraged, okay? You need to handle it casually. Don't stress yourself out. Just like with resolutions, don't stress yourself out. Start simple. If you break and have some chocolate, it's okay. Maybe just cut that portion size down. Stop yourself before going too far, if possible. And that will help you for next time. You need to get your body in a routine to get used to however you're changing your diet. And it helps, what will help if you don't remember to stay hydrated or make sure you have a snack in between a meal, or in between meal times. Set an alarm on your phone for snacks. I'm not even kidding. Like, take out your phone right now and set an alarm for drinking a cup of water and eating an apple, or having some nuts and yogurt. Whatever you need to do, set that alarm to help you. And that will help knock out those cravings. All right, we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back.
The GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
All right, welcome back, y'all. Earlier, we were talking about how to not give in to that sweet tooth with those sugar cravings when we're trying to cut down on sugar. So we're going to continue on that thread, because as you cut down on sugar, you're going to realize, man, everything has sugar in it. But it's okay. It's okay. Don't stress. Added sugar is in most packaged foods. And sadly, that causes adults to eat double or triple of the recommended amount of sugar for our body. That's quite a lot, especially because it's not, healthier sugars, natural sugars. It's white sugar, processed sugar, not organic and nice. So that can cause some stress when shopping for food and coming up with recipes, trying to cut out all the sugar that we can while still getting the sugar that our body needs. Well, honestly, the best place to start is to find a diet or make your own. If you don't know where to start, do some research on how to cut out sugar. And I'm sure a million diets will come up. You'll find some suggestions, some recipes to help you out, some brands to stick to avoid, that sort of thing. Or, actually something I encourage is making your own diet. Make something to suit your body. Everyone's bodies are different. Obviously, if a diet's good, it's good and it can work for a lot of people. However, everyone's body is different. So, make your own diet. That's what I say. Well, how do you make your own diet? Well, start small. Cut out what's easiest to cut out. Cakes. Any kind of cakes, ice creams, desserts. Really sugary pies, lollipops, chocolate, things like that. Cut those things out, but you don't have to do it 100%. If you have a cheat day, have your cheat day. That's not a bad thing. But don't gorge on your cheat day, okay? Use the tips I mentioned earlier to help soothe those sugar cravings. You really need to pay attention to that. But do you even need to follow that strict diet that you make, whatever you decide to do with it? I mean, not necessarily. I personally don't follow a strict diet. Now, if you have a very specific goal, a fitness coach, something you're working towards, like a photo shoot or a physical fitness goal for a hike or a marathon or something like that, yes, I recommend you follow a strict diet. That will be super beneficial for you. But on your average everyday fitness, no, you don't. You don't need to stress out about counting calories or anything like that. You don't need to worry about that sugar intake. I just personally am not a huge sugar person. I don't have the biggest sweet tooth in the world, but I do get cravings every once in a while. And when those cravings happen, they're real big, like I'll gorge. So I need to watch myself for gorging. And the best way to do that, for me, man, sometimes I don't even do it successfully. I'll just honestly buy a whole bag of mini Reese's and I'll eat those in, way too quickly. But even if you gorge, I'll tell you this. If you've been doing really well consistently before the gorge, you don't need to beat yourself up about it because it's way easier to get back on track. Trust me. Things will be much easier after the gorge if you've already been successful for a certain amount of time beforehand. If you've seen progress, it will not destroy everything. As long as you can get yourself back on track, get those greens in, drink enough water, do everything you can, you will be fine, I promise. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little strange right now. I have a mild cold and my nose suddenly just got stuffy. Great for podcasting, isn't it? Anyway, so how I usually eat, I eat Mediterranean food because I'm first generation American, so I'm used to that. And Mediterranean food is known for being pretty healthy. It's light on meats in general, just naturally. And our sweets are different. They include lots of nuts, which is great. And obviously they have the unhealthy sugars in there, but they're cut into very small portions. It's not like a giant chunk of cake, so I'm just used to eating that way. So if you're interested, look into a Mediterranean diet. That might be a good starting place for some of you. If you don't know what consists of a Mediterranean diet, just to simplify it a little bit, well, personally, I like to eat a lot of rice, but a healthier option is cracked wheat, I believe it's called. Those are the original recipes, use cracked wheat, but I like my white rice. And I'm pretty healthy, guys. I'm getting toned. I'm pretty much almost at every single goal I want to meet regarding health and fitness. And I was at that point previously. I was 100% there, actually. But my lifestyle recently changed. So that brought back my progress a little bit. But because I was consistent for so long, I'm getting there again real fast. And on that super encouraging, I hope, note, we are going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome back to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Previously, we talked about sugar, about ways to help with that sweet tooth, and how to start making your own diets and fixing it to you and your body and your goals regarding eating less sugar. Now we're going to focus a little bit on some important things you need to know if you're trying to get back into working out, or, you're changing up your fitness goals for the new year, the new decade. You want to look poppin', which is awesome. You want to be hardcore and start your intense new workout routine. You want to use that gym membership to the fullest potential. And I encourage all of that. But what I don't encourage is putting extra unnecessary stress on your muscles and getting unnecessarily dizzy and just, causing your body some extra stress it really doesn't need. What I mean is, we're going to talk about why warm-ups and cool-downs are very important, and you need to account for them in your routines. You need to make the time for them. They don't take that long, I promise, but they're super important. See, warm-ups and cool-downs reduce the stress on the heart. And not just the heart, just in general, the muscles. Muscles are working and they need that time to get warmed up and also relax. So what exactly is a warm-up and a cool-down? Well, with a warm-up, it does physically heat up the body, and it also relaxes the muscles a little bit. So you're not doing something suddenly to damage them, right? You're not doing something sudden and intense that they're not expecting and that they're not used to. Because otherwise, you'll injure yourself. And cool-down is the same thing, but the opposite. You don't want to be doing something very intensely and then you suddenly stop. That can be very, very jarring for the body. It's similar. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but it's what came to my mind. If you're in a car crash, even if it's mild, it's still an unexpected jolt. Whether physical or psychological or a little bit of both, it's a sudden jolt that makes your body produce toxic chemicals for your body because you're freaking out. So this is a similar idea, that suddenness, the unhealthiness of that sudden action that you need to take into account. So how do you warm up and how do you cool down? Warm-ups are simple. I say warm-ups and cool-downs, give yourself 5 minutes. If you're doing a workout that's shorter, I still say 5 minutes because shorter workouts are usually more intense anyway. So you need to be warmed up enough for that intensity. So take 5 minutes and do something not so extreme, but to still get you moving. If you're going to start jogging or running, start at a quick walking pace and then move into a light jog, okay? Get yourself moving to that faster, more intense point slowly. If you're doing strength training, working out at home or in the gym with equipment, you still need that warm-up, okay? Start out slow with less weight, less counting time, whatever it is that you're doing, just do that, but less. Even if you know you can lift or do whatever it is you need to do, you still need to do it slower and less intensely at first. Cool down is the same thing. Do the exact same thing. After you're done, you slow down before bringing it to a stop. And when you're running, you still got to keep it to that 5 minutes. I promise it's important. Come to a slow jog, then come to a fast-paced walk, and then you can relax into a regular walk. Okay? It's really important. The stretching count? No. I'm going to say no. I think it's helpful, and I think you can count stretching as a 1 minute part of the warm-up, let's say. But stretching is stretching, and it's not intense movement, and working out still brings you to those sudden movements. So you still need to be a little bit careful after simply stretching. But if your stretching is in combination with, I don't know, a light little jog, a few slow jumping jacks, something like that, that's great. Do stretching and a few things like that. Perfect warm-up right there. The reason I'm putting such emphasis on this is because my experience with I've had some not great experiences with cooling down, or not cooling down, I should say. So I've always warmed up because whatever I've done has required one. Just whenever you take a class, they're going to warm up with you at least a little bit. At least they should. If they're not, that's not great. They really should. And also, I just like to stretch. So on my own, I take way more time to stretch than most people do, probably before a workout. But with cooling down, I didn't realize the importance of that. And if you listen to the earlier segment, I talked about taking a dance class. And at the end of the dance class, the dance class was set up. The first half was the technique segment, okay? We worked on individual moves or move combinations, and perfected technique as well as endurance, as well as strength, honestly. Then the second half was the choreography. Now, if it's the beginning of a song, choreography might not necessarily be that intense. It depends on the piece. But sometimes it could be quicker, and especially if it was the full routine and it was very fast-paced, it was pretty intense. And it really, really, really would get your heart pumping, especially by the end of that second half, because it was like 45 minutes of constant choreography, a fast-paced dance, trying to memorize the moves, make sure you do them correctly. Your mind is on go, 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 and so is your body, and it's just constant, quick movements, okay? And technique and focus. So really gets the heart pumping, and it's fun and it's amazing. But then the class would end suddenly, and class would be over. And it was really bad, guys. Okay, a few things happened to my body. My heart rate, after it slowed down for a second, it would speed up suddenly, like it had trouble slowing down. My body would overheat all of a sudden. Even though you're warm when you work out, you get hot, but I mean like an uncomfortable, sudden, like you're having a panic attack heat. I wasn't panicking. That's not the feeling I felt, but my body would overheat in a similar way. Like it was like a head rush and a whole body flush. It was very uncomfortable. And I got dizzy. All of that happened very immediately after I stopped moving, by the way, because of how sudden. And that happened too often. Luckily, I didn't catch it the first time. I didn't understand what was happening. But after a few times, I was like, this is an issue. How do I fix it? And that's how I learned about cool downs and how important they are. Guys, that's not healthy. If I continued that for who knows how long, I might have, actually fallen from dizziness or passed out, or I was putting so much strain on my heart. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you it's really not good to avoid cool downs or warm-ups. But cool downs are important too. You need to make sure you slow down what you're doing. And when you're done slowing down, if you can, take a minute or even 30 seconds. Do a quick stretch too to help your muscles not lock up. Okay? Make stretching like a minute of your cool down time, and the rest of it is just slowing down or slowly speeding up. Okay? It's important, guys. So now I pay real close attention to that warming up and that cooling down. All right, we'll be right back, guys. We're going to take another short break. See you soon.
Pets bring such joy to our lives, and the GSMC Pets podcast is here to share in that joy. We'll tell stories of pets finding their forever homes, acting in unexpected ways, being helpful, or just being silly. Whether you love dogs, cats, llamas, reptiles, fish, or you've never met an animal you didn't like, the GSMC Pets podcast is for you.
Welcome back, guys, to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Earlier we talked about the importance of warm-ups and cool-downs. Very important, guys. And before that even, we talked about short daily workouts and how beneficial those can be to, honestly, anyone at any stage in fitness, but also particularly for people first starting out or that don't have a lot of time to work out. Now, I mentioned before to include your warm-up and your cool-down times. Okay, so this is particularly important to pay attention to even for your short daily workouts. I don't care if you're only working out for 7 minutes, you've got to warm up and you've got to cool down. Okay, those workouts are intense, and I don't want you to get a more than just a dizzy spell like I did. So pay attention to that. And again, I'm going to reiterate, intensify as you go. So if you feel like it's too easy, either intensify within that specific workout or just extend the length, whatever you want to do. However, if you want to keep them short, not a problem. You can intensify the workout within that time span, okay? Don't stress about it getting easy and then you not making any more progress, or you not making a ton of progress and you simply want to change things up. You can change up the exercises so that they're more beneficial to your particular situation and your body. So, what specific moves do I do and why? And how do I schedule it and why? All fun questions. I personally don't like short workouts, so I don't really do them regularly. I prefer working out for at least an hour, if not longer. Depending on how I feel during the workout, what I'm doing that day. My schedule's a little flexible right now because I'm a grad student. But when I do have short workouts, it's because I don't have time, but I still want to get in that fitness. I still want to get something in there. So I schedule it honestly whenever I want. If I suddenly have the time, I know I need to take a shower before I leave, I will cut out some time out of my shower. Honestly, I will. I'll take a faster shower, super fast shower, just to get in that really quick workout. Because for me personally, my average shower, if I'm not washing my hair, is, well, not average, the most is 20 minutes. But I can take a shower as short as 5 minutes if I really have to. So I don't mind cutting into that time to work out. Now, if you're like me and you have a whole issue with your hair, and that's a process, these short workouts are actually perfect for that, because you can get in that short workout before that, hour of hair care that needs to happen because your hair is complicated. So don't worry too much about scheduling. Just get it in where you can. If it's shorter, it should be easier. You can make it work. It's okay. I promise you'll find a place for it. Now, what specific moves do I do and why? You guys will probably end up doing something different, is my guess. Because usually with the daily 7-minute workout, that's usually the reason people use it, for that daily workout. They want something that works out everything. Or they have it set up like, okay, leg day workout, booty day workout, arm day workout, ab day workout, whatever it is. I don't work like that. I like working it out, everything together. I'm more of a slow and steady wins the race kind of person, so that's probably why. But it's up to you, however you want to organize it. So with my short workouts, because of my goals, I focus on the abs and the triceps. And if I have extra time, I'll do a little bit of leg work too. But if I am working the abs, I'm usually going to be working the legs a little bit anyway, so there's kind of that benefit. And those in themselves will help with the booty, so you still get a little bit of everything. And triceps too. If I focus on the triceps, I'm still getting a little bicep in there too. So, I mean, there's a little bit of everything in there. The only thing I'm not really getting with these workouts is cardio, because they're not, the way I do them, they're not super, super, super intense. They're just enough to, for me, maintain. But I would recommend, if you want to do what I do and just save these short workouts for when you don't have time, I recommend planning them out and making them more intense than what I do. What I do is a little bit more casual, but I know most people with fitness goals don't necessarily want to be super casual about it. If you can afford it, I recommend you do it. But, you know, if you want those to get to those goals quickly and you like that intensity, that'll give you progress much quicker and you'll feel great for it, if that's what you want. So that's it for today, really. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'd like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. That really helps us out, guys. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful new year. I wish you all the best in your fitness resolutions. And I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and any app where you listen to podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news, we cover it all. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and listen to these podcasts on YouTube. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's podcast.